Assalamualaikum and hi to my fellow friends and doctor. My name is Muhammad Nur Hakim bin Jamal, and today my presentation's topic is From Belief to Evidence, Bayesian Thinking as a Tool for Understanding Complexity. So this is the table of content. I'll be starting with the definition, also the overview of Bayesian thinking. Next, the content will be the function, also the real life applications. And lastly, I will conclude and showing the references. So without further ado, let's begin. So now let's start with what is Bayesian thinking? So we have two definitions here. Let's go to the first one. From Gulati to 2024, Bayesian thinking is a way to make decisions using probability, starting with initial beliefs and changing them when new evidence comes in. So what she's trying to say here is that we should not ignore the prior or the facts that we already knew at the same time the facts that we know right now. However, we should combine them to make a better decisions, and it is supported by Knowledge 2023, Bayesian thinking as a mental model which allow us to adapt our thinking reactively to new evidence. So this method actually help us to stay flexible in how we think. Instead of sticking to the first idea, we can adjust our thoughts and also our beliefs when the new information appears. So actually, it helps us to react wisely when the situation changes. Alright, next overview of Bayesian thinking. So actually this model derives or comes from Bayes' theorem. So this is the formula. It starts with our initial belief, and then when we got the new information, we will update the belief. So actually this theory provides a mathematical framework for our natural process of thinking. Because why? Because it always happens in our daily life. So here, according to Gulati 2024, there are four important key elements. So based on these elements, I will relate it with an example of you have a feeling of rain. So let's go one by one. First one is prior. Prior is the representation of initial belief about the hypothesis. For example, according to weather forecast, we know that it's about 20% going to rain today. Okay, that's the example. Next, likelihood. It measures how well the new information fits the hypothesis. For example, the indicator like the skies today are dark and also the wind so strong. So that's the likelihood. Next, the evidence. Evidence is the new information that you got. For example, people outside they are start using their umbrella and you can see on the road they are covered with many little dark spots. And then the posterior. So posterior is the update belief after you combining the hypothesis with the new information. So for example, now you believe that it's going to be 100% rain to the due to the evidence and or maybe 70% of heavy downpour. So that is the key elements. Alright, however, how Bayesian thinking helps understanding complex discourse. So here I will convey 3 points to all of you. Alright, the first one, Bayesian thinking updates the real-time belief in conversation. So in our daily life, we constantly make assumptions about what other people around us means. So actually, according to Darcy and Jacobson 2023, our brain is actually programmed to form assumption. At the same time, we are actually search for patterns based on what the speaker says. So actually, our belief updating process happens in our daily life because every day we have discourse progress, and actually we do not change our mind completely when it comes to these updates. We sometimes just need to adjust it. For example, when someone asks for help but in joking tone, at first our prior knowledge would say that he's joking and it's not serious. However, when he repeats the instruction again, or now we will believe the new idea is that he is trying asking for help. So actually it updates our brain quickly to recalculate our interpretation based on the new inputs. So the second one is it helps manage ambiguity and shifting meaning. So what is ambiguity? Ambiguity refers to something that has more than one meaning. While shifting meanings, it happens when a fresh context actually changes from what we thought or what we assumed something would be. So this technique of Bayesian thinking actually allow us to be more flexible rather than to stick rigidly to our prior or initial thoughts. So the main important is we have to adjust the idea logically and progressively. So for example, the sentence, my mom bought a doll for her daughter because she loved it. So some of speakers or listeners, they would be confused. the word she here refers to who? To the mother or to the daughter? So if we think logically, if she refers to the mother, then the daughter should not exist here in the sentence. So if we think logically and progressively, the she here refers to the daughter. So that's how Bayesian thinking helps us to understand better. The third point is Bayesian thinking is helpful in interpreting conflicting information. So in our daily life, we frequently find more than two sources that tell different results or things based on the same subject. So actually, Bayesian thinking provides more organized technique to break through the confusion and also make a solid and balanced decision. So here, it allows the audience to make a balanced view, especially when we are facing doubt or disagreement. For example, conflicting medical diagnosis. So let's imagine we have two doctors. The first doctor diagnosed the patient for having acid reflux, or another one diagnosed for having ulcer. So which one is the best diagnosis? It refers to another indicator based on the patient. So it shows the what they call posterior and also create a new belief what's wrong with the patient. So this technique is very important for doctors, especially to avoid confirmation bias. Alright, last one is real life applications by Kuma 2023. So I gave two examples here, which are medical field and financial field. So medical field, it helps doctor make better diagnostic decision because they read the symptoms and medical history and do some research. And finally, the doctor can assess the likelihood of a disease more accurately. For example, when a patient have fatigue or swollen lymph nodes, so the doctor can suspect the disease as lymphoma. So that's the medical field. However, the financial field, it helps investor to make smarter evidence-based decision. So when they having prior market knowledge and then they do new research, they can update their belief about the stock's success and they can manage to avoid risk more logically. For example, when 30% of market stock jumped to 70%, they knew that the investor can get profit as it is profitable. Alright, to conclude, Bayesian thinking is a strong mental model because it helps the discourse comprehension by allowing individuals to change their knowledge when new information emerge. So let's recap. We have three ways. First, it updates real-time belief. Second one, it manages ambiguity and shifting meanings. And lastly, it helps interpreting conflicting information. Hence, I urge everyone that we should practice this model because it can encourage for flexible thinking as well as enhancing inference making. So this is my references. That's all from me. Thank you.